thing is that it's not that you can't ask questions while we go along, but we probably are going to build on some information. So as we go along, you're probably going to find out that if you want to write down your questions or whatever it may be, we can certainly answer them at the end, and we'll go from there. So, but first of all, I really, really appreciate all of my people that have supported me and this project, all of us at Per Diem Workspace and the dream team we have. And I kind of just want to talk about what Perkasie Marketplace is, so everybody gets a feel for it. Some of you have already heard about it and others it's new to. So we're going to say welcome to the new world, which is really, you know, everybody knows that 2020 was the year that changed how we did business, right? In the blink of an eye, businesses had to pivot and change and find new ways to stay open. So we're going to talk a little bit about, if I can change the slide. There we go. So why Perkasie Marketplace? So what does that mean? So it's a one-stop shop. So think about, you know, Amazon, but for our local community to support the businesses and the community. You'll be able to do everything you could do on a platform, but for all of Perkasie. We're starting with the borough, and we'd like to expand out to the entire community of 18944. And what does it mean? So we have an expert team of people that will take care of the technical aspects of the setting up your store, okay? Whether it's going to be an e-commerce store or a brand store. Unique storefront, it will be beautifully designed. You don't have to worry about anything. We have experts in that aspects as well. It's going to be affordable pricing. I think that's one of the biggest concerns for all of us that are small business owners. You know, expecting to create a new website or new platform can be very pricey. And the other thing is we have a marketing strategy and experts behind us. So you're not really going to have to worry about doing any of those things, which is kind of why we created the Perkasie Marketplace to begin with. We wanted to keep it local. So that kind of brings me to about the marketplace. So we want to experience, we call it the digital downtown of the Perkasie area. So one-stop shopping and explore the community, and also to stores, restaurants, everything. And really how we got here, you know, coming from the Per Diem Workspace viewpoint is we've always supported local businesses in the community, and it just felt like a perfect way to pivot and adapt to help the businesses grow. And starting with Perkasie is actually, you know, where our roots are. Moving to an online business platform is how a lot of businesses pivoted during this time. And one of the challenges, I think, was, you know, everybody was scrambling to find out what businesses were doing. So you had to go Google and go onto all their different websites, and then what restaurants were open and who was doing curbside delivery. So this will allow for one-stop shop, whether you want to sell on e-commerce and actually be able to sell your goods, whether you want to be able to make an appointment, reservation, check out a menu. You know, if I think there's someone here, if you wanted to make an appointment with your insurance agent, our platform will allow you to schedule an appointment. And all those things, you know, and also to just find out what's going on in the community and in the events that are occurring. I think one of the biggest things is that organizations, you know, hold fundraisers and community events. And, you know, how do you find out about all that? A lot of times you can see it on Facebook, but there's not really one resource to find about all those things in one place. So we're really excited about, you know, helping the local community. We've already been a community-based business for all this time. I think we've been open for almost 4 years now. It's exciting, and I'm glad we're still thriving and surviving. So, and also too, the other thing that's going to be able to happen on the e-commerce marketplace is that we're going to have advertising and sponsors. And that leads me to, I want to reach out and say thank you, Joe Ferry. You're our very first launch sponsor. And we really appreciate your support. We're hoping to get more launch sponsors, but it really means a lot to support the efforts. And I know as the director of you know, downtown development and everything you're doing for Perkasie Town Improvement Association, but it came from you personally, so that means a lot, and thank you. And you'll see your spot of sponsorship on the website. Some of the other things I want to talk about is our dream team. So you can't do this alone. This is not a one-man show or one-woman show. We had to create an entire team of people to really create this Perkasie Marketplace. And what that means is everybody that's on the team, you know, Per Diem Workspace has had a relationship with for multiple years. and they're all experts in what they do. We've worked on multiple projects together before, so I feel very confident in everyone's capabilities. And honestly, it's really been a long months getting this together, but it's really coming to fruition. I'm really excited about it. So, and with a team, you'll be able to have project management. You won't have to worry about doing anything. Once you send us the things that we need from you, the team takes care of it. So I kind of like to introduce the team. Everybody's on today and I'm excited. A lot of you already know Jamie Roman, who is our in-house director of marketing operations here at Per Diem Workspace. She's also a graphic and web designer, and she owns her own company called Jamie Roman Designs. If I don't know if I can't see Jamie right now, so if Jamie wants to do a wave and say hello to everybody. Thank you for being and supporting us. John Rapp, who I've known since he was about 3. He literally lives across the street from me, has moved to Philadelphia. He's our software engineer. He's created a lot of, he does configuration with our back end, and he's also a professional in the healthcare industry. So John, thanks for being part of the team and your expertise. We also have Rose Score, who many of you are also familiar with. She's a virtual assistant. She does virtual assistant for our in-house at Per Diem Workspace here. She also has her own company called Paperwork Relief. And she's also the secretary of Perkasie Town Improvement Association. Thanks, Rose, for being part of the team. Next, we have Leah O'Leary, who some of you may know and may not know. We've worked on many projects together. Leah is also an entrepreneur and business owner. She's our business writing specialist, helped us with policies and content. Leah, we appreciate you being part of the team. Thanks for joining us. Next is Melissa Huntsberger. I think Melissa Huntsberger was one of our very first coworkers here at Per Diem Workspace. And she came in and we quickly got to know each other. She's our marketing strategist, and she also has her own company as an entrepreneur as well. And we welcome her to the team and we appreciate her expertise. And I think most of you know me, Michelle Shire, VP of Sales and Marketing at Per Diem Workspace. And I do some consulting with Stephen Barth in economic development, and I also do consulting with EFE Laboratories. So it's exciting for me. And Karen Chalou, who's my business partner and president here at Per Diem Workspace. So together we've created this dynamic platform that will allow the entire town of Perkasie services, businesses, e-commerce, community events come under one platform. And I'm really excited. And I think the team will really help you get to where you want to be. You don't have to worry about, we're going to create your store for you. We're going to manage it for you. We're going to market it for you, and we're going to scale it for you. So in very economically. So that's my part right now, the presentation, and I kind of want to hand it over to Leah O'Leary. She's going to talk about what's next with e-commerce. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. Big thank you to Michelle for having this dream and bringing us all along into it. This has been a really exciting project to work on, and I'm really looking forward to watching it grow and become an amazing platform for the Perkasie community. So why e-commerce? And I think everybody here knows that what the pandemic did to small businesses. Everybody had to pivot in different ways. We had to change how we delivered services. Some business had to change their entire business model. We had to adapt to digital technology to carry out our day-to-day business, and we had to do all of this on the fly. There was no real time, no real learning curve to get used to everything. But e-commerce does have a lot of benefits. You have an increased customer reach. You can reach more people. You can build brand loyalty through e-commerce and just kind of create more touches with your existing customers. There's no time restrictions on when people can shop. So if you have a downtown business that might be open kind of general business hours where somebody who works out of town can't get to you, now they can. They can come home from work and sit down at the computer and shop you anytime. We overcome geographical limitations. So if somebody in town has a contact out of town that they want to recommend your business to, they can do that. Maybe you have somebody who visits visits you when they visit Perkasie once or twice a year. Well, now they can shop you all year round. So you're just creating more and more customer loyalty on this platform. The great part about this is low startup costs and low running costs, because we are doing so much of the work for you. It prevents you from having to learn an entirely new business on top of the business that you're already running. So, and the really cool thing about this particular e-commerce platform is that it is hyper local. So it's not just shipping. You have options to have customers pick up what they purchase, or you have the option to offer delivery. So it kind of, that hyper local feel with an e-commerce platform really changes everything about what this platform can do for local Perkasie businesses. And so with that, I'm going to go into how this is the best of both worlds, what stays local, grows local. And we believe that the marketplace really is the best of both worlds with local and e-commerce. Since 1995, small businesses have been generating 66% of all new jobs in the US. Small businesses are a big deal, and we want to support the local businesses who support the Perkasie area where we live, work, and play. Local businesses create a sense of community. They make a major economic impact. They create new jobs, and they give consumers an opportunity to support their local communities. These are all things that you know. We're just making sure you know that we know them too, and this is what's behind what we're doing. We have an American Express sponsored survey from 2018 that says for every $1 spent in a small business, 67 cents of that stays in the local economy. So you can kind of keep scaling that up, and we are just adding to our local economy. Another survey that we looked up by a payment solution called Sezzle found that customers are actively more interested in purchasing from local businesses in the long term as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. This same survey found that half of Gen Z respondents, which is young adults, are trying to support local businesses over the long term, long after COVID is a thing of the past. And over half of millennials and Gen Xers are also committed to shopping locally right now. So this is a great time to shop local. And now you can shop locally online with the Perkasie Marketplace. So with that, I'm going to pass it off to Melissa to talk to you about how you can become part of this exciting project.
Thanks, Leah. So very briefly, I just want to talk about different options for business owners and entrepreneurs to become a part of the Perkasie Marketplace. And after that, we're going to open it up to questions. So right now, there are basically two different ways that you can become a member. So one is what we're calling the e-commerce storefront, and the other is a brand page. So let's just talk briefly about the e-commerce storefront. This is for businesses that have goods and services that someone could, online, put in a shopping cart and check out. And so when you become a member of the Perkasie Marketplace, really all you have to do is give us the list of products, a description, your logo, some product imagery, and then we build it from there. We build you a beautiful Shopify storefront. That's the platform that we're using. But you may know that Etsy also uses Shopify, so we can really support some dynamic things using this platform. And again, we are going to manage it, build it, promote it, market it for you. We really take all of those pieces and do it for you, which is a really great thing. So you'll be able to make updates as things are changing with some of the COVID regulations. We can then go into your storefront, make updates. If you sell out of products and want to add new ones, we'll do all of that for you. So it's a really seamless, easy process for anyone who has an e-commerce site of their own. You'll know it's really like building a whole nother website. So we take care of all of that for you. And then the other option, if you're a restaurant, maybe a salon, you have some professional services that you're offering that you want to sort of put out there, we have what we're calling the brand page. So there is no e-commerce component to the brand page. But again, you supply us with the copy and the imagery, and then we build the page for you. We make updates to it as necessary. Michelle mentioned, if you're a restaurant and you want to take reservations, we have that capability on the Shopify platform. Or if you want to, use the brand page to help drive traffic to your own website, there's also that option. And again, you'll have a beautiful branded page. You can make various updates. If you have seasonal menus changes, we can certainly make those. Again, any COVID-19 updates that are happening, changes to your hours, curbside pickup, delivery, what have you, we can, be updating those brand pages quite quickly for you. So again, what's great about this is we're going to build it, we're going to manage it, we're going to scale it, and we're going to drive traffic and customers to you as part of your membership to the Perkasie Marketplace. And so with that, I'll turn it back over to Michelle, and I think we're going to open it up to questions.
Sorry, I was trying to take myself off mute. I just want to say a couple things just to add on that before we take some questions. And I'm actually going to show the website. I'm going to share my screen so you actually can see what this team has already built. And I know people are going to probably maybe ask some different questions. So just to clarify a couple things, on the e-commerce storefront, you can purchase items that we put up there for you. And we have the ability, and I'll show you because Jill Strickland is one of the first people that has joined us with frocks, and I really appreciate it. And we didn't build her entire store. We just did a couple examples so far. But besides her putting up a couple items, you'll see that it can be linked right to her own e-commerce website, as well as to Facebook and Instagram. So if you do most of your business out of Facebook and you want to be found on the Perkasie Marketplace, then you can link to your Facebook. We can do that. What I think is really interesting is that we will be able to, I think one of the questions will be, how are you going to tell, how many people are visiting? Google Analytics will actually show us how many people visited your page through the marketplace. And then you'll be able to see through your own Google Analytics how many times people visited your website through us. So just one thing, if you are a brand page and not an e-commerce page, I'm not sure, Melissa, I forget if you said it or not, but for instance, if you're a restaurant, or for instance, Jessica's sitting here with me from Shine Yoga, she's sitting inside the space, there'd be multiple changes that we'll do. Let's say, for instance, you have different offerings for menu changes, and we can update that. And if you had a reservation platform, you'll be able to reserve for that. And maybe, Jessica right now, for example, she has Zoom classes. So if you wanted to register for her Zoom class, that would be allowed right through our platform. So I just wanted to cover a couple of those things. We can open it up to questions, and then I'll be happy. I don't know if we want to look at the website first or if we want to ask questions first. So I'm sure there's questions out there. So feel free to ask away.
Michelle, is this an app that people will have to download, or is it a site that
it's a
they go to?
website. So like you're going to go on the website. Eventually, actually, maybe John can answer that. I'm not sure if we can it's actually called an app, even though it's a website, but it won't be an app that you could put on your phone that you can click on, as far as I'm aware. John, chime in if I'm wrong.
Yeah, that's correct.
Right. So it's a website that people will go to, www.perkasiemarketplace.com. And I'll show you that shortly, but it's a website.
But it is mobile friendly, so that when people are walking around town, on their phones, they'll be able to access all the same information.
You can access it on your computer, your phone, your iPad. I've already gone on to all three on myself just to see what it looks like, and I can show it to you shortly, but great question. What other questions do people have about it?
I have a question. I think we're like Jill in this, in that we have an online store. Mm-hmm. So our thing now is when something sells in the store, we have to quickly go to the online store and take the product off the store. Right. How would that jive with this if we have products in both places, one product in both places?
Well, if you have one product in both places, you would get an alert that's going to tell you something sold and exactly what the customer wants, whether you're going to ship it to them and shipping information, or whether they want to pick it up at your door. It will automatically tell you that it's sold, and then you guys make sure my team, I'm saying this right, it will show that it's sold out. So like if you only had one and someone bought it, if you had 5, you'll be notified, and then our site, it would show that all 5 are sold.
But
I
then,
think,
but then we would have to go on to our version of the online store and take it off there.
I guess so, yes.
Yeah, okay.
I think one of the suggestions would be, and obviously we can talk about this individually, but I think it's a really great conversation, is that you may want to, for instance, you guys have so many items, right? So you may want to choose certain items to put onto the marketplace and put some, and then you could always change those. You know what I'm saying? So maybe not to have so much crossover.
Right.
It would be very interesting. I think what's also important, this brings up to the point where it may just be an awareness, say for instance, people are looking at, and I'm going to show you the website soon. So let's say it talks about arts, and under gallery, you just find Chimayo. People could see what your offerings are and when your hours of business are, and then go directly to your e-commerce site. But I would definitely urge everyone to take advantage of both, because maybe someone who hasn't been to your site yet could be on the e-commerce and find some items. And with every membership to begin with, we're giving you 5 items included, okay, in the setup, and then we build from there. Good question. Thank you.
Thanks.
I hope that answered it. Did it?
Yeah, pretty much. I think that probably we've been working up to this point to get as almost everything onto the site, but we've already got over 1,000 items and a lot is not on yet.
Right.
So it is a lot of work, but maybe, yeah, separating the two. And then I'm sure this will be clarified later at some point, whereas your payment system, I guess, would be completely separate from ours.
Yeah, so that's a great question. So the thing is, they can pay directly through, and I will say too, is for people who really want to delve in and ask, we can do separate Zooms, but I think these are all great questions. I'm happy to answer them here. So people pay directly through the site. You're notified. And one of the things I just want to let everybody know, because people pay with credit cards, we're absorbing that fee because there's going to be a monthly membership. I'm not charging you guys the 2% or 2.5% because you're going to be paying a monthly membership fee. So you're not going to have worry about that. So if you sold a $10 item through the e-commerce site, you'll get notified. You'll be paid as well. You have to worry about tracking me down. There's automatic payment through PayPal that will happen. I think anybody on the team, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe I'm stating the right thing, and notification. But since there is a monthly membership involved, there won't be any credit card fees involved. I think we just added it in. Hopefully it's an extra benefit. As you know, as a small business owner, we get it, which we're trying to make it so that people shop local and support the community. Sure. So Jessica's asking me what the cost is. So one of the things I'm working on, and this is, I know we're recording it, is really getting some people to join us from the beginning. So the pricing for an e-commerce storefront for the people that join us for our soft launch, which is going to be right before Thanksgiving time. I think the cutoff to join us will be around November 11th for us to be able to actually launch previous to Black Friday. Is for the e-commerce storefront setup, it's $575 a one-time fee. Then from there, it's $150 a month. What you have to do is you only have to send us your product imagery and your logos and whatnot. We will have a whole onboarding process that I believe that, if I'm right, Leah O'Leary is going to be championing that. And Rose Score, our virtual assistant, will be sending out how all of the Google Docs to collect your information, website, Facebook, and Jamie Roman will help create that beautiful storefront. So so that's kind of an entry fee for people that are willing to join us from the beginning. We're going to do a soft launch, and then we'll do a broader launch for us strategic. And if you're doing a brand page, which would be more like Jessica who's sitting here, the brand page is going to be $500, and then it's $75 a month. Oh, I forgot to say something. We're giving the first 2 months free because we're trying to build. So the first 2 months are included in your original setup. So you're not going to pay that $150 or $75 for the first 2 months. Okay, I didn't say that. So, and that the first 2 months of your annual contract are included. You're going to get the design storefront for your brand page, Jessica. Right. You're going to get up to, whether it's 4 menu changes, it says like a restaurant, or 4 changes what you're doing in your studio. Maybe you have different offerings. I don't know, like different types of yoga, different types of events. Maybe you have yoga in the park and you want to, promote that. So we would add that, and things of that nature. So good question. And we are certainly can send everybody that's on the call. I'm happy to send a follow-up and we can actually do one-on-ones or with the team. So you can learn everything about it. What other questions does anybody have before we show you the site?
Well, first
Michelle,
I
in
want,
addition,
Yeah.
oh, go ahead, Steve.
well, first I want to congratulate you all. I mean, this is really a great idea. And, on behalf of the entire community, thank you. I mean, it's a nice way to kind of, link all the businesses together. And we had that meeting earlier this week, about how do you cross-pollinate, the business community. So hopefully on the site, we can do things like that. If somebody goes to Bliss Salon, and they schedule through here, then they see some of the other stores, and, whether you're visiting in person or, shopping online or something, that it can help do that. So wonderful job.
Thank you, Steve. We appreciate your support and your efforts toward the marketplace. And we certainly agree. That's the whole idea, is that one of the things I found as a business owner, and I think a lot of people found, you're hopping all over the place. So what's nice, and I'll launch it, is what's nice is you could shop Frocks, shop Chimayo, and then go over and schedule a hair appointment, and then be like, oh, let's see what Shine Yoga's offering. Let's see. I know that State Farm. I need to look at what my insurance data, Auto Body, and then really kind of looking at everything that's offering in our community under one umbrella. I mean, I hate to say this, but it's pretty funny during the pandemic, and still. I mean, Amazon boxes were piled up on people's doors. I would love for it to be Perkasie businesses boxes lined up on people's doors, or an easy way for them to find how to keep that, the economy local. So thank you, Steve, and I appreciate the feedback.
Yeah. Oh, you're welcome. Yep.
Michelle,
Anybody?
you had alluded to the possibility of content other than, storefronts, like a calendar of events. Do you have an idea or a plan for a calendar of an overall calendar of events that everything would be on, whether it was a sponsored
Yes.
event or not?
So this might be a good time. Let me see if I can share the website, because you'll see on our community page, things are going to become much more robust, but let me launch the website so you guys can see it, because on the community page, you'll be able to see all the events and click on different links. So let me see if I can, bear with me. I'm going to try to share a new share here. I had it. Rose, do you want to see, for whatever reason, I'm trying to see how I can share, get out of this share. Sure. Let me see if I can, I'm trying to share the website, even though I have it up.
You'll have to stop sharing and then reshare with the website.
Oh, so hold on. Let's see. Thank you, John.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, oh, now
Maybe try it again, because I was trying to share. And
no,
then...
go ahead, Rose. You share. I was going to say, go ahead. You can do it.
All right. So let's see. Are people seeing the website?
Can you see
Yes.
it, guys?
Yep.
Yep, I see it.
Okay. So I'm going to walk you through this a little bit. So here is, at the top, Perkasie Marketplace Powered by Per Diem. And this is the homepage. Okay. So let's just scroll down through the homepage so you can see that first. Okay. Oh, no, this is not the homepage. Nope. Got to go back. That was Per Diem's page.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that.
That's
That
okay.
was my...
That's okay. That's okay.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the homepage. Okay. And as you scroll down, you can see there's some imagery of downtown. Keeps going down. You see the Perkasie Marketplace. Okay. The e-commerce. And then right there, discover all that Perkasie has to offer. Okay. So the Perkasie digital downtown, keep going. And then you see shop local. Shops are open. There's Frocks. When you shop the Perkasie Marketplace, you're supporting your neighbors, buying quality goods from local resources, et cetera, and so on. And then keep going down. Here's an example of, we put a Per Diem workspace. There's a banner page. Someone could have that as well. And then keep going down. And then it talks about, there's a picture of Chimayo Gallery. See, there's Priscilla. is out front there, and you can keep going. And I think here's coming soon, you'll see Frocks. We did Pine to Pink, and then you can see the local business. And at the very bottom, we thank you, Joe, again for your generosity. Chroma Group was a sponsor. And if you want to just move down to the bottom rows, it's just some rest imagery. So if you go to the top now, that's our homepage. So Joe, you were asking about, so if we click on the community tab and you scroll down, it talks about what you can explore here, right? So we'd like to add more imagery to this. We did get a professional photographer take some, we're going to add more to it. And then again, you would be able to click on, so let's say for instance, we click on the borough of Perkasie. It takes it right to their page, and then you could go onto their event page, okay? You could go back and do the same thing for PTIA. If you click on there, it takes you to their page. Certainly, we could think about how we could have a calendar that was all-inclusive and how we would manage that, if that's what you're asking, Joe, but certainly we could do that. And then if you go back up, and then Pine to Pink, since we are doing Pine to Pink, we added them on for this month as one of the things that are going on in the community. So if you scroll back to the top, so let's go over a little bit, and if you hit under shop, okay, so click there and then go down under clothing and apparel, and under there, if you click on Frocks. So, okay, so right now you can see like there's a product from Frocks to the left, okay? There's a sweater, and then there's also Perkasie Town Improvement Association, the t-shirts. But if you actually go back up rows, if you go back to just Frocks, and you can actually see, just hit Frocks, there you go. So this is the beginning of the store of Frocks on the storefront. So here's an e-commerce store. If you scroll down a little bit more, okay, there's her one product. We can put up as many products we want. Someone could click on that cardigan, look at it, and buy it, okay? If they choose not to do that, if you go, there you go. So you see, they can see the detail, small, beige, etc., and so on. If you go back up a little bit, Rose, I'm sorry, it's like,
It's okay.
so if you click back, so let's see, here's Frocks, right? So if you click on description, Rose, this is going to talk about, and then scroll down, it talks about the same thing that's on, the website for Frocks. Best known for its one-on-one styling. So it's going to give a description of the store and whatnot. And then if you scroll up a little bit more, you can see where it says website, Facebook, Instagram, phone number, every single one of those. So once you click on that website under Frocks, it will take you right to her e-commerce website. Just like Alex, you were asking the same thing, if that's what you prefer. So if you wanted 5 items and then shop on the website, you can. And then you can easily shop the website that you have. And then you can go back and continue to shop items on the website as well, on the marketplace website. So it just kind of gives you an example of an e-commerce. If you go there, why don't you go to, if you go to the top, why don't we go into professional services? So it gives you an idea. So Per Diem Workspace, I know State Farm you're on. So let's say, for example, we did a video to tour. So you can, and I think Jill, you were asking the same question, right? So if you wanted to do a video embedded, you could do that. So Rose, why don't you play that video there so you can see how this is embedded in the site. This is a little tour of Per Diem space. You could do a tour of Shine Yoga. You could do a tour of State Farm, your commercial embedded. So this kind of is a video and some of the offerings we have, besides linking to our website and whatnot. We just kind of wanted to show that as an example. And we don't have to watch our whole video. We don't. So we can go back up to the top. And there's also, for instance, I think if you go under Dine, we made, if you look at, I think, let's just look at your business listing. Let's try that. We made an example. So here's just, pretend pizza store. Okay. So it would be there. Your menu would be there. Your website could be there, and it would talk about your offerings, and your actual menu could be listed. You can actually look at the whole menu and then what your hours of operation would be and whatnot. And then if you go to the top again, I just want to make sure. And you guys can, I will be honest, this site it's live. People haven't shopped on it yet. So you can look at it at your leisure. If you go on to Perkasie Marketplace.com, you can play around with it, look at it. I think what's interesting, if you go back to the homepage, Rose, one of the things I think that's really great is that if you scroll down to the middle, it lets you kind of pick your category, right? In here, shop, dine, schedule. The rest of it's cut off. I think I'm not sure what the last one says. If someone wants to help me out, I can't.
Explore.
Thank you, explore. So, again, what are all the things we have in our town besides just shopping? Experiential. We've got 7 miles of park for every resident. I think Steve can contest this. We have 2 new brew pubs that will be coming, right? Microbrews in the near future. And the Ram will be opening. So we'll have more restaurants and things of that nature. What else do you guys see here that you want to ask questions about? Or want to give any feedback? Please feel free to chime in.
I have a question. Sorry.
That's okay. Go ahead, Steve.
Well, we are going to have 2 new microbreweries, and the Ram's going to open before Thanksgiving.
Right.
So some of the ideas, we're going to be able to have these like, pub crawls or restaurant crawls. Like, is there a way, like, say if we had like a restaurant week or, special.
Right. So I think that what's important is because we're going to definitely have, like, I think that would be on the community page, but let's say, for instance, like one of the things I would love is, for instance, like the coming soon. Wouldn't it be great if we could have, a picture of the coming soon of the Ram and the microbrews, right? And then if we did on the homepage, certainly we could add on that pub crawler event. One of the things that would be really great would be if we could get additional sponsorship and advertising, or those people would, have to contribute towards that. So that's one of the things, like, if there's, for instance, if there is businesses out there that just want to sponsor the entire website to help the community, that could help go back on the community page. Okay. That type of thing. Sponsorship and advertising will help leverage that. But yes, we would definitely do that.
And where did the ads and sponsorships show up then?
Okay. So I only can see Steve now. I'm not sure why.
Well, because one of the things, I think Michelle Kane is on here, right?
If she's still on. Michelle, are you still with us?
I am here.
Okay.
Oh, so
What's up?
One of the wonderful shout outs to Michelle. I was very pleased. I won an award from A&T Chevrolet for the car show the other day.
Sure did.
But the one thing that it was the first time I was able to meet the owner of the dealership, and they have been such wonderful sponsors for us, for a very long period of time, and was able just to kind of thank Michelle to her bosses, but also to thank them directly. And but part of it is I think it creates a wonderful quality of life for us by supporting like either your e-commerce site or the car shows and the farmers market. And so I think for our sponsors, I was trying to help them. We have all this new housing, lots of new families to buy new cars that when they advertise or sponsor, like how do we kind of help them on the other side of that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So one other quick thing, someone just, Lynn Mullen, are you still on?
Yes, I am.
Thank you. So I see, would the storefront be able to handle pay what you can pricing? Give me a little feedback about that. Are you trying to say, like, so for instance, like if you're a crafter or something and you wanted to put something up, that you're going to accept or reject pricing?
Well, so I run Little Theater Workshop, and our model is a sliding scale model. So, I'm sorry, I'm hearing some feedback. Basically, I'm not able to do a set price for my product, which is teaching classes or ticket sales to an event, because I want to provide that sliding scale, which is a pretty wide range. So I can't have, a bunch of different ticket prices because it would be too much. So I was wondering, I know that with a lot of platforms, we're able to do it sort of under the donation category, but I was wondering if this particular storefront would be able to do a pay what you can.
I believe that we'll be able to handle that. And I believe that you would end up being a brand page. But any of my team members, if anyone has additional insight into that, how the back end would work, please feel free to chime in. And Lynn, I'll be happy to make sure if we can accommodate that or not and give you a solid answer. Does anybody have any information on that at this time from the team?
I can't say for sure off the top of my head, but it's something I could definitely look into and get back to on.
Thank you. All right, Lynn, so we'll get back to you. But I think that we can definitely do what we can to accommodate that and maybe try to get creative on how we could handle it. Okay,
Great, thank you.
great question. Anybody else have any other questions? Yes.
Do you want me to say it really loud?
Go ahead. Jessica's here with me. What's funny is I don't know what happened to my screen, Rose. It's all crazy. She's gonna say it really loud. Jessica's gonna have her question.
Is it possible if you are a business like mine that has an embedded live schedule already on my own website, would I be able to just give you the HTML code to embed that on, say, a brand page, and then people would schedule classes with me, but they would also pay through me. So it's just kind of like bypassing, but I would have a live presence of my schedule on the Perkasie Marketplace. Is that something that's possible? Like I have the code already. I just give it to you.
It might not be. Something else I'll have to look into, because the way that the brand pages work is they're based off of a template that every vendor will use, but it might be possible to customize a template for your specific need and then select that one. That's something else that might be possible that I can look into and also follow up with you on.
So let me say this about that, why she's asking. So even though you have your own to register for the class, it's a live schedule. So John, good question. So let me say this though, because we're not charging you a fee to pay, we're not getting a credit card fee. There's no additional fee. The brand page, if they schedule through us and it goes directly to you, because we have that plugin, right? We have a scheduling platform plugin, right? Is that, I mean, I'm trying to, maybe we have to do a sidebar conversation. I'm thinking about it. Yeah. Okay. So, but great question. These are all great questions. What else, guys, do you have out there? People have, what else?
John,
do you know? What we
John,
have?
will each brand page have its own URL that the owner could then share and be able to, market themselves apart from the app?
Yep, definitely.
Okay. There you go. Great. Yeah. So it's their storefront URL on the marketplace website. Correct, John?
That's right. Yep.
Okay. Great. Does anybody else have any other questions?
How would you like us?
I, for one, am very impressed. I'm really excited about this, the potential that this has for us. We just need to get it in front of more of our businesses so they buy in. The more content we have on there, the more successful everybody's going to be.
Agreed. So that's one of the reasons why. And we're going to continue to do multiple of these. I actually wanted to do an in-person presentation, which may be different for the smaller group. I certainly would be happy to do that. We decided to try the Zoom first because I didn't know if we would capture more people. We are going to plan on doing another type of event next week. And certainly we would talk to everybody, the team members. We'll set those up. I think someone just chimed in. It's very exciting for our community. I'm looking forward to sharing this information with our agent, Nick. Well, thank you very much, Kelly, for also. So I agree. If we can continue to get the word out, I think it has big potential. And thank you again for your support, Joe, and everybody who's on the call.
Once again, I think it's an example of Perkasie really taking the lead. I don't know any other small town that has something like this, just like they don't have a Perkasie Live monthly news magazine either. I really think we're blazing the trail for small towns.
I agree with you. And, we're starting with Perkasie because it is our hometown. It's America's hometown. And again, we're going to expand it out to all of 18944. And honestly, once we do this, I'd be happy to bring it to other towns. Right now, I want to make it awesome in Perkasie and embrace Perkasie and, really our local community. So thank you again.
Yeah, Michelle.
So for example,
go ahead, Joe. Go ahead, Steve.
like what specifically could we all do to help you? Like, this is a great idea, but other than like waiting till next week, are there things where you could send like links to us, or you want us to call people individually, or, what do you think is?
I think if you expose it, we have a great team of a lot of people right now, and they've committed to meeting with people, even if it's Zoom or in person.
Okay.
I think that we could, if you help expose it, what the marketplace is, I don't mind at this point now, people can look at that. I think John and Jamie, I think you would agree, people can look at our live website, correct?
Yep, definitely. I would
Right.
definitely.
Again, so if someone actually wanted to buy that sweater from Frocks, go for it, right, Jill? So I think really exposing it, getting the word out, if you want to talk about it. I think the challenge is that we just want to make sure to connect it back to team, because there's a lot of technical questions. So, I mean, we're going to do everything we possibly can to make it all happen. But again, I would love, is Linda Reed, are you still on by any chance?
I'm here, yes.
So, it's a different conversation. I would love to, I did invite all the borough council people. I would love to, if the borough would be interested in promoting the Perkasie Marketplace, considering it's not benefiting only one business, we're looking at it globally. And also too, the parks, the events, the borough, PTIA, I would love to have a separate conversation. Steve and Linda, if you're willing to help facilitate that, to see how we can get the borough in support of the project, and if they help expose it as well.
Definitely. We're very supportive of anything that supports our small businesses. So this is really a wonderful initiative. And I'm happy to sit down and talk about how we get the site populated so that it's really useful for our community.
Yes. And on that note, one of the things that I still was looking for, and it hasn't come to fruition yet. I mean, I think our pricing is very, very reasonable. If you would go out and look at some other things, and we're doing this to get people, boots on the ground, get part of the launch, be part of it, is that if we get additional sponsors, for instance, Steve, if Penn Community Bank, I did talk to Todd Hurley at one point, I think there are people, so kind of putting the buzz out there. And if they continue to do sponsorships and they have an ad on the page, that would help, keep the costs to a minimum for the businesses.
So you could have like the sponsor, like if you get X amount of sponsors, you can reduce like the entry fee or something like there.
If that actually happened, if we got X amount of sponsors, that they knew that it would help keep the cost to a minimum for all the businesses to be on e-commerce or brand pages, absolutely. Let me just say, let's see, Debbie Basic, I like this concept, but I have to navigate how this would work since I'm a vendor papas. Maybe just a brand page would work for custom orders. Yes, so I think Debbie, it would be a brand page for you, but also too, people could navigate that you have a brand page, but they also could walk into Papa Cupcakes, like where to visit in Perkasie to buy your product. But also too, unless he objects, if you wanted to have your own e-commerce, maybe you're not going to ship your chocolate, but that you could have a pickup, and maybe people order more and your pickup is at Papa's, so we can talk about that separately, but I definitely think there's an opportunity for you to have your brand page and people know what your offerings are.
To branch out a little more, which is something that I've been slowly getting more and more. But I just feel like I'm going to need to talk about this with him first.
Yeah. Oh, sure. I think that's, of course. Yeah. It's, absolutely. That would be a personal conversation you'd have to have with him.
Okay.
So I think another thing would be the sponsors would be very helpful in getting the community page events up. Okay. Including schools, sports, the nonprofits. So one of the conversations I had before was, for instance, I'm just using this, we've got Fish, who's our local food bank, right? We've got Sisters U. We've got all the schools. So if there were sponsors who wanted to sponsor, so they had their own page, okay? So their sponsorship comes up. I talked to somebody already and they said, I would be very interested in that. If they'd like to have an ad and say they're proud sponsors of Fish, if they're proud sponsors of X, we could do that. Some people don't want to be known but they certainly can be if they like to be. So I think, Jill, you're asking a question here. Are you talking about your page specifically? And we can talk about that offline? I don't know if she's still there. Jill.
Jill, you're muted.
That's okay. So are you asking a question specific to your page, or are you asking a question about the whole project? Oh, we can't hear you. Oh, you don't have any audio. Darn it. Okay. Here, type back in. So if you're talking about your page, yes, that if you are, then we can talk about that separately, and the team will set up the rest of your page for you and how that looks. Great. Thanks for the thumbs up. I don't know why I can't hear you. How about anybody else? I know we're getting close to an hour, but I'm happy to stay on as long as need be to talk about things. Does anybody else have any other questions? Call outs, ideas? No?
And Michelle, you did mention right now you're just starting with the borough, but for example, if lovely ladybugs wanted to get in, or if Perkasie PC Repair or Hickory Stick, they could join now if they wanted to, right?
So what I meant was we started with our reaching out first with the borough. Yes. If all of a sudden there's others, I think that's honestly, actually my next step is going to be, I had a lot of people respond to the email telling me they just couldn't get on today. So they're very interested. So we're going to follow up with them. And then, yes, at this point, if someone says, I really want to be part of it. I had somebody who was in 18944 already said they're interested in an ad. They like to be part of it. So, you know, we're very open. I'm not going to say no to people at this point. Of course not. I just was trying to, you know, start with within the borough, but absolutely.
Good.
So, and we were just trying to solve the problem, you know, about what the fall is going to look like. I mean, this is ongoing, but I think in the very near future, what the fourth quarter shopping and people finding out where to go and what to do, I think is going to become very interesting. So we're happy to have the solution. So thanks again.
I've been saying this for a while. I think we'll be okay in this final fourth quarter. I'm concerned about January, February, and March. That's where we're really going to need strong marketing. And I think this can really be a big help at that point.
Well, we're happy to do whatever we can again. And I think that actually, you know, people pivoted, and due to COVID, I think people have really changed their shopping behaviors anyway, as we've seen statistically out there. So anybody, anything else? Well, everyone, I really appreciate all your time. I want to make a major shout out to the team. Honestly, I could never have done this Per Diem Workspace, could not have accomplished this without all the talent that's part of the team. So thank you. And thank you for the community for the support. We can't wait to get this launched off. We're going to start with a soft launch, and we certainly can get more information out about our marketing strategy. I think Melissa is going to help craft more of that, and we're going to get that out to the community so people understand what we're going to do to leverage the site. Thanks again, everybody. If no one has anything else, we will end the session.
Thank you, and everybody have a good day.
Thanks.
Oh, wait. We have chats, I think.
Yeah, I think I've read them. Go ahead, hold on.
Okay, just people thanking us. Okay.
Yeah, love the idea. Thank you, Jill. Thank you. Alex, thank you. Karen. Yes, and I think I read the rest of the chats. Is there any more
Yep,
here?
you did.
Okay.
Mhm.
Well, I appreciate everyone and all their time and energy towards this. And the team, you guys are awesome. You're rock stars. I appreciate everything you've done for it. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks. Have a good night, everybody.